Please join me in prayer. Holy One, we gather to worship you, even as we hear the ragged breathing of the one carrying the cross, even as we hear him stumble and fall. Give us strength to hear this story once again. Do not let us turn away from this bleak day, but be with us in this darkness. O God, under whose wings all your creatures find shelter, to you we flee this night of grief. From evil within and evil around, protect us. Keep us always near the cross, which is our hope and our assurance that the power of sin and death is broken, and that your reign of mercy and justice will continue forever. Amen. Hear now these words from Matthew's Gospel, chapter 27, beginning with verse 32. As they were going out, they found Simon, a man from Cyrene. They forced him to carry his cross. When they came to a place called Golgotha, which means skull place, they gave Jesus wine mixed with vinegar to drink. But after tasting it, he didn't want to drink it. After they crucified him, they divided up his clothes among them by drawing lots. They sat there, guarding him. They placed above his head the charge against him. It read, "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews." They crucified him with two outlaws, one on his right side and one on his left. Those who were walking by insulted Jesus, shaking their heads and saying, "So you were going to destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days, were you? Save yourself. If you are God's son, come down from the cross." In the same way, the chief priests, along with the legal experts and the elders, were making fun of him, saying, "He saved others, but he can't save himself. He's the King of Israel. So let him come down from the cross now. Then we'll believe in him. He trusts in God, so let God deliver him now if he wants to. He said, 'I'm God's son.'" The outlaws who were crucified with him insulted him in the same way. From noon until 3 in the afternoon, the whole earth was dark. At about 3, Jesus cried out with a loud shout, "Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani," which means, my God, why have you forsaken me?" After hearing him, some standing there said, "He's calling Elijah." One of them ran over, took a sponge full of vinegar, and put it on a pole. He offered it to Jesus to drink. But the rest of them said, "Let's see if Elijah will come and save him." Again, Jesus cried out with a loud shout. Then he died. Look, the curtain of the sanctuary was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth shook, the rocks split, and the bodies of many holy people who had died were raised. After Jesus' resurrection, they came out of their graves and went into the holy city, where they appeared to many people. When the centurion and those with him who were guarding Jesus saw the earthquake and what had just happened, they were filled with awe and said, "This was certainly God's Son." Many women were watching from a distance. They had followed Jesus from Galilee to serve him. Among them were Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of Zebedee's sons. Friends, this is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
My song is love unknown, my Savior's love to me, love to the lovely shown that they might lovely be. Oh, who am I that for my sake my Lord should take frail flesh and die? Here might I stay and sing no story so divine. Never was love, dear King, never was grief like thine. This is my friend, in whose sweet praise I all my days could gladly spend.
That evening, a man named Joseph came. He was a rich man from Arimathea who had become a disciple of Jesus. He came to Pilate and asked for Jesus' body. Pilate gave him permission to take it. Joseph took the body, wrapped it in a linen cloth, and laid it in his own new tomb, which he had carved out of the rock. After he rolled a large stone at the door of the tomb, he went away. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. It's really weird to be here this night. It's not what we planned. It's not what you or I had planned. It's not supposed to be like this. It's not like it's a happy occasion. The good here doesn't really mean good like that. It means good like satisfied, good like finished. It's always somber, this observance. This year, maybe more than any other year, though, I think I might get it a little more, a little differently. After all the hype, all the planning, all the preparations, never ever in my wildest dreams did I imagine I would end up here alone. Where is the church? Where are the people? Isn't that what we're taught? Isn't that what we're told? Here's the church. Here is the steeple. Open the doors, see all the people. Close the doors and hear them pray. Open the doors and they all walk away. I do. I think about it a little bit differently this year as I sit here alone with all the plans gone horribly awry. The shadow of death looms large as we walk in its valley tonight. Death hovers and threatens, and we are afraid. 2 years ago, I preached a sermon on this night about what happened after it was finished. When everyone had rushed home in order to beat the Sabbath, in order to prepare for the Seder meal, after it was finished and it was silent. At the time, I imagined what it would be like for those who loved Jesus to prepare for his funeral. That's what happens after a death, after you sit vigil. You plan for the service to remember someone's life and legacy. But as I reimagine it tonight in the context of the current pandemic, I have a new after picture. It's not pretty. But tonight we can be a little morose, I suppose. Tonight I can let my mind wander to the people around the world who have died without loved ones by their side, after doctors and nurses were forced to pick and choose between which patients have the highest chance of survival, after the virus has spread through the first world countries where we are forced to go into our houses and apartments and play games and sing. After it starts to spread in third world countries, where staying home means something else. After it goes through refugee camps, where home is neither here nor there. Dear friends, tonight I sit here longing for those words. It is finished. It is over. It is done. I long to know the final statistics. And if those statistics have names that I love, if the after involves postponing all those things we do to heal from the trauma, because honestly, we're too traumatized in the first place. I long for this to be finished, to be over. Yes, so I can move on to my life, so we all can. So my kids can go to school and my family can come and visit, and I can go and visit my family, so I can have a barbecue with the neighbors. But that's a different account. That's the one from John's Gospel, where it's finished. The account we read tonight is from Matthew's Gospel. In this account, Jesus feels abandoned on the cross, abandoned by God, shouting out those words from the Psalms, my God, why have you forsaken me?" I certainly understand those words, followed by the taunting of faith. Where is your miracle? Why can't you save yourself if you're a person of faith? With the last breath, there is an earthquake after, and the temple curtain was torn in two. As my seminary professor Donald Jules said, God is on the loose. God is no longer contained. The presence of God is nowhere that is to be expected. We don't know where to look. So like those who were there that night, that Good Friday, we can grasp the fear that we cannot understand. Confusion. What is happening here? What happens next? Friends, tonight I think we need good news. Not like it's a happy occasion, not good like that. Good like done, accomplished, finished. Here's what I think that good news is for us tonight. That in the midst of fear and confusion, the uncertainty and the unknowing, God's presence cannot be contained. We find it not in the church building where we left it. God's presence is on the loose among us even now, separated in our homes, in our villages, and in refugee camps. When we cry, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Our God rushes from the predictable to the place of the very worst pain and suffering. When it is good, accomplished, finished, we will come at the break of dawn out of our houses, ready to attend to the dead, and there it will be revealed to us the many places God has been. That is the good news. But we're not there yet, are we? We sit instead in the silence of this night, knowing what wasn't supposed to be. Amen.